Morning. Well, it's Wednesday. It's starting to be lighter in the mornings to drive to work. Why not bring back the old channel favourite that everybody hated? It's Waffle Wednesday. Yeah, now I know a lot of people didn't like this when I used to do this every so often. But you know what? My channel, my rules, don't care anymore. So what we used to do, now and again, I'd pick a topic, talk about it, and then we'd get a bit of discussion in the comments. One thing that I've thought about, and it's since having this Seat again, you know, going back to an older car. Obviously when I had the Land Rover and that was my daily driver, and then I was using Heather's Kia for the odd day to offset the terrible fuel economy. I was getting 25, 27 out of the Land Rover, so consequently it was crucifying me using it 5 days a week. So because Heather's working from home, she used to let me use the Kia 1 or 2 days, and that was fine. Yeah, so fuel economy, based on the fact that this car I'm in now is 18 years old, it's a diesel, and to and from work and back I'm averaging 58, 59 to the gallon, just pootling along. Now, Heather's car's a modern car, Euro 6 compliant, a diesel, not a massive car. I think it's about a 1600 or a 1500 diesel, not sure. Not even sure if it's got a turbo. Same journey to and from work, 41 to the gallon at the best. Why is a modern car so difficult to get the MPG as high as an older one? Now, when we go on a run in that car and we stick it on cruise control at 62 mile an hour, the best we've ever got is 60 to the gallon. That's the best, and that's just tooting along, you know. I can't say what I've done on this in a run, but it's the same engine as I had in a Golf, and constantly I could get 64, 65 to the gallon, just driving like an idiot. So it makes you wonder how older cars, which are supposed to be, you know, less good for the environment or all this, whatever they say, are constantly doing better fuel economy than a modern diesel. The Maestro, for example, that I had, although it didn't have a fuel computer, tank to tank, I was averaging 55 to the gallon driving that. You know, proof by filling up, working out the maths, and then filling up again. So yeah, what is it with modern diesels, not all of them I guess, but certainly the ones that I've had experience with, that they're so good for the environment with all the AdBlue and, you know, whatever mapping they have these days, compared to a good old-fashioned diesel that's just burn it and see what happens. The fuel economy is so good. I don't get it. I'd be interested to know who knows, you know, because I'm of this theory at the moment, certainly with running an older car, is the most environmentally friendly car that you've got the one that you already own? You know, the only issue I've got with having this car at the minute, which doesn't matter for me because it is literally a work car, is you cannot take it anywhere without getting charged. I couldn't drive this car into London now, or Oxford or Birmingham, Manchester. They've all got clean air zones, which this car would not pass, and therefore there's an average of, I don't know, £10 a day to go into that area because your car's not clean. Is it something to do with the fact that they're mapped better fuel economy, that they're doing more miles to the gallon versus a new car which is mapped more cleanly but is clearly burning more diesel? I don't know. Also, the crazy thing that I think about the clean air zones and stuff, which is randomly going off topic but sort of involves fuel, is the Allegro, being a historic vehicle, can happily drive into the centre of London with no charge, Oxford, etc., etc., because it's historic. You work that out. There's no charge for an older car. So you already notice, if you look on forums and stuff like this, that a lot of people in London and these type of places are buying old classics just so they can commute in them, to beat these congestion charges and stuff like that. Yeah, not congestion charges, clean air charges. So I'd be intrigued on people's thoughts on that one. So in other topics, how are we going with the Seat? Well, I'm loving this car. It's obviously fantastic fun to drive. You know, it's a nice quick car. It's a point and shoot. You can get it to go where it wants. It's fun. I'd love to have known what it was like brand new to drive. I bet it would have been hilarious. Yeah, the Land Rover went, as we know, on the last vlog a few days ago. That was a strange one. I couldn't believe how quick that went. Crazy. But hopefully, I've heard nothing back from the guy, and I wouldn't expect to, because one of the conversations we were having when we were bartering on the price was, go on, let me have it for $5.5 grand. You'll never see me again. I won't darken your door. And I went, I'm not being funny, mate. It's a private sale. You've got no comeback anyway. You know, you take it and you do what you like. But even so, you know, it's nice to have not heard nothing back. I cancelled the insurance on Monday as soon as the broker was open, and I cancelled the tax and took it out of my name 5 minutes after he'd gone, because in theory, for all I know, you know, he could have drove home and got a ticket or whatever. He'd be driving on my tax and my insurance in a way. So yeah, soon got that out of my name. Just waiting for I've had the confirmation email, but I'm just waiting for the confirmation letter to say I no longer own it. So yeah. So my plan for this car, really, as I might have said, is I'm just going to keep it for a few months and see how I get on with it. And if something else pops up that I fancy, I think we're going to run this, you know, on what they call Bangonomics, which is you buy it for a set price and hopefully you get your money back. Already someone who follows the channel has offered to buy this off me. Seems fairly serious. Hello, Dave. At the price I paid for it, which would be fun. You know, maybe that's an avenue I could explore. I don't know, you know, buy a car and sell it to one of you guys. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But yeah, I have a colleague at work. Hello, Gary, if you're watching this. His mate is always selling sub £1,000 cars. You know, the typical buys them cheap, puts 12 months MOT on them, and you know, and he's always got something quite interesting for sale. So I don't know whether this year I'm going to have a high turnover of 500 quid cars just for fun. The problem being is I'm loving driving this one, so it could prove awkward. It already looks very bare on the front of the house with no Land Rover there, because this is a lot smaller, and also with the Allegro being in the garage, we're playing car Jenga less and less. So I do quite like the fact that we've got a bit more room, but of course a bit more room always encourages you to think, oh, I could have another car. But Heather wouldn't let me do that. And I don't really want to be fair. I know the limitations of what I can do on this channel car-wise, because, as we've said before, I do a lot more camping than car shows and car stuff. When the lockdown started and I was doing Allegro stuff all the time, it was purely because I couldn't go camping. So I know the limitations. A lot of my weekends are already getting booked up later in the year. I've stuck a few car shows in that I'm not going to miss. I'm not going, I'm going to Gaydon. I'm going to the Allegro meeting, which is quite a fair way. I think I've got to drive somewhere down by the M25 to Enfield or something. It's going to be quite an epic journey for the Allegro. And then we've got the Milton Keynes show. So there's going to be a few that I'm doing. But unfortunately for me, the local ones that I like to do are at weekends when I'm already booked in the van. So I know that the Allegro is never going to get massive use, which is why I've said before I want to diversify this channel a bit. to add things like my like of trains and stuff like that. And I've got a few train trips booked which normally I'd have just gone on and never filmed or whatever, that certainly wouldn't fit in with the camper channel, but I'm going to stick them on here, and if people like them, they like them, and if they don't, they don't. Like I say, the channel is also for me to remember what I did. You know, when I'm sat there dribbling in my later years because I've gone demented or something, I can look back at these and think, oh God, he didn't do nothing every weekend. I don't know, I'm just waffling now. But anyway, yeah, that is it really. Complete crap, and probably only 3 of you will watch this, but hello you 3 if you do. Don't care. I like talking to the camera on the way to work. It's good. It's quite annoying. I haven't been able to hoon it along any of these roads because of all the cars, which is annoying. Oh yeah, and another thing that don't work, the squirty water thing doesn't work on the back windscreen. I've put 3 new windscreen wipers on the car, but the water thing doesn't squirt. I need to look at that. So I've got a dirty back window, which is really annoying on this car with no boot. The back end's forever filthy. There you go. Anyway, if I'm really lucky now, I'm just about to get onto the A38, and there's going to be nothing coming, and I can have a little tiny burst of acceleration. He says, haha, typically the A38 is crawling, so that spoilt my plans. Oh well, we'll end it here. No hooning for you. Later, people. Boo. No fast acceleration.